Now let us just do a small meditation. It just occurred to me on the 11th chapter. Because if you see the journey of the whole experience of Arjuna with Krishna has been how Krishna was in this little human, regular, normal form, and then he becomes the four-armed Bhagavan, and then he becomes this Virata Purusha, and then he comes back to the four-armed form and the normal human form. So it's a beautiful meditation I think we should do for a few minutes and just go through that journey and try to bring in that bhava, that whole experience within. And the main essence of this particular 11th chapter, if you want to just pick up a couple of words from Krishna, is Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. It says Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin. O savyasachin, O Arjuna, just become an instrument. Okay. So with that kind of an attitude, let's close our eyes. And just visualize the beautiful form of Krishna that we are usually familiar with. Like a Gopala. With a flute. With probably a cow standing beside him. In his regular form, two arms, a very pleasant smiling face. With a gentle kiritam, a crown on his head. Just nicely decorated, not too jazzy. And a peacock feather. And beautiful curly hair falling down his shoulders. He's got a very beautiful and a gentle, welcoming, pleasing smile on his face. Mandasmita. Now just visualize Krishna has given you Divya Drishti. He's given you the vision to see his glorious form. So now you're seeing Krishna as this four-armed Narayana. Glorious form of Narayana with the Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. The four arms. With a discus, Sudarshana Chakra, with Panchajanya Shankha, the conch, the Padma or the lotus, and the Gada, the mace, Kaumodiki. And he's standing in his glorious form, glowing, radiating beautiful, gentle, brilliant light. This is the form of Narayana. The light of Narayana spreading all around. And slowly Narayana is becoming much larger in size, growing big, 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 big. Is becoming so big that you have to look up, and yet you won't be able to see the entire form in a single vision. Very, very huge form. With many heads. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva. Atyatishthad Dashangulam. He's got thousands of heads, thousands of limbs, thousands of eyes, mouth. Huge form. Very, very brilliant, very bright. It's very bright, like many, many suns. But because Krishna has given you Divya Drishti, we are able to imagine and perceive this form. Imagine all the galaxies, the planets, everything around this form. Imagine all your people, your swajana, your relatives, your friends, people, all that you know, are small, tiny, tiny pieces of creatures that are going in and coming out of this form. There are planets being created from the mouth of this huge Purusha. Whole Earth and many, many such planets are just going in, getting consumed, getting created, burning off, getting created, getting destroyed, getting created. Your wife, your daughter, your son, your father, your mother, your husband, your grandchildren, everybody is just going in, gushing into that form. Millions of them. Like just imagine the Kumbh Mela kind of millions of people. They're just very, very tiny, tiny ant-like creatures. And you're here witnessing all of this because Krishna has given you, endowed you with that beautiful vision. You're not alone. Krishna is with you. He's showing you this Leela, that everything comes from him, goes into him. My house, my car, those are just speck of dust in his presence. I too shall perish in him. I too shall dissolve in him. I am an amsha, a part that has come from him, a very, 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 very minuscule part of this huge Purusha. The troubles that I have, my problems with my people, my relatives, my office, my children, my husband, in this whole grand scheme of things, nothing matters. None of that matter. because it is he who is doing all this Leela. His Krishna's grace, he has given us an individuality, a mind, a heart, to experience his love, to experience beauty, to experience joy, a heart to experience joy, a mind to think about him in everything. And when he says, Nimitta matram bhava savyasachin to Arjuna, and he is addressing all of us through Arjuna, become an instrument. Nimitta matram, just become an instrument. You are just doing what needs to be done. Why do you think you are doing everything? Drop the kartritta bhava, the doership, because in this grand scheme, in this big Virata Purusha, where are you? You're not even a speck. You're just given some tasks, you're doing them. Just do that beautifully with joy in your heart, devotion in your mind. And now Krishna, slowly reducing his form from that grand Purusha, slowly coming down, reducing the heads and the arms, and taking his form of Narayana, the four arms, the beautiful smile, the beautiful grace, with the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, the four arms, blessing you continuously, constantly, without an interruption, whether we know it or not, always being there. And then to his two-armed form, where he becomes like you. And he wants you to become like him, Krishnamayi. Know that he is your closest Sakha, closest friend. That great grand Purusha is your closest, your innermost in you all the time. To experience his presence and grace, all that we require is a bit of surrender, a bit of love in the heart, trust and faith that he is with me, traveling with me. I am not alone. I'm never alone. And Bhagavan has given me this Divya Drishti, has given this beautiful ability to perceive this form of his whenever we want, whenever you want. All you have to do, close your eyes, just visualize. This is the greatest gift human beings have. Animals cannot visualize, they cannot imagine. Human beings can imagine. And it is our responsibility to imagine the most beautiful things. ॐ क्लीं कृष्णाय नमः। 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 Now we'll look at the 52nd verse onwards, the last few verses. Shri Bhagavan Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtavanasi Yanmama Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha Naham Vedairna Tapasa Nadanena na Chejyaya Shakya Evam Vidho Drashtum Drishtavanasi Mam Yatha. So he says, Arjuna, all of this that you've seen now, experienced now, is purely not because of knowing the Vedas, knowing the scriptures, knowing the literature, knowing Vedanta, not because of the knowledge that you carry. What you've seen, even the Devas, Devaha apyasya rupasya nityam darshana kankshinaha. They continue to wish for this rupam of mine. And they don't, it's not easy to get that. And by doing a lot of puja and Vedic chanting and penance and charity, dhanam, yajnam, you cannot get this. You cannot get this experience that you got now. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahamevam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena pravrishtum cha parantapa. Only by devotion. Bhaktya tvananyaya. Anyaya. Ananyaya means without any corruption, any kind of um, um, any kind of doubt. When you have this kind of bhakti tu bhaktya tu ananyaya shakyaham evam vidhorjuna. This alone, through this alone you can know, O Arjuna, jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praprashtum cha parantapa. Through this one can enter into this beautiful this vision of mine, only through bhaktya. And then he says, mat karma krit, mat paramaha, mat bhakta sanga varjitaha, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yas samameti pandava. So he says, mat karma krit, you do duties for me in my favor, considering me as mat paramaha, considering me as the supreme. Mad bhaktaha, be devoted to me. Sangavarjitaha, keep yourself asangaha. Sangavarjitaha means asangaha, without too much of attachment to anything else, attaching yourself to this principle that I am. Nirvaihi nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu, without any kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, without any of these towards any other beings. Don't carry jealousy, hatred, lust, anger, all of this with others. Yaha samameti pandava. So one who is like this, he alone comes to me, O Pandava, O Arjuna. So these are the last few verses of this chapter where, as I said, the focus has been without knowing. Arjuna has received this blessing, and after receiving this blessing, then Krishna explains to him why did he get this blessing. Why did he get this grace is not because he is Savyasachin, he is a great warrior. See, look at the way Krishna is telling Arjuna. He's saying, Nimitta matram bhava Savyasachin. He could have said, Nimitta matram bhava Arjuna, or Nimitta matram bhava Pandava, or bhava Parantapa. No, he's calling him Savyasachin there. Savyasachin is somebody who's extremely adept, the one who is ambidextrous. He can use his left as good as his right. So Arjuna could hold the bow on the left or bow on the right and shoot with the left. He could do that as well as he could do the normal holding on the left and shooting from the right. That is why it's called Savya Sachin. Savya means left. So one who is, usually this term is referred to somebody who is equally adept on both hands. Which means what? He is Kushalaha. He is extremely capable. So he is referring to him as, O Arjuna, you who are so capable, O Savyasachin, Nimitta Matram Bhava. Become just an instrument. Become just an instrument. Who is telling Arjuna, who is capable of so many things. Nammalla em matram. What are we? We think that we want name, we want acknowledgement, we want this, that. I am so capable, I can do this, but I am not recognized. We yearn for this recognition, for this acknowledgement, for this continuous. Somebody's got to keep patting me, somebody's got to clap hands. He's telling Arjuna himself, who is the most capable, the most worthy, he's telling him, just be an instrument. Don't try to run behind any of this name fame. And then he says, I have killed all those people that you're seeing now. All these people that you're seeing now, I've killed them already. So same thing, even in our lives, we are doing what we need to do. Don't worry too much. Anyways, people will be born, people will die, people will go through whatever. We just do what we need to do. That's it. We do what needs to be done. In the circumstances that we are in, we do what we need to do. That doesn't mean that you completely lose yourself in that and then don't think about Bhagavan, don't do your puja, your archana, your dhyana, your japa, your nama sankirtan, whatever, your sadhana. You don't do that and you're completely, you drown yourself in the samsara, and then we look up to him and blame him. You didn't give me time. Where do I think about you, Bhagavan? That is why in Mahabharata, they've used Vyasa, Veda Vyasa beautifully used 5 characters who are extremely capable in their own right. But all of them have gone through extreme pain, extreme difficulties, extreme humiliation, extreme conditions. And we have to understand that it is shown as an extreme because they're extremely capable, they've gone through extreme conditions. We are not extremely capable, so our difficulties and challenges are also moderate. We will not be able to manage one day of any Pandava. ஒரு நாள் மந்திரி மாதிரி, ஒரு நாள் chief minister, one day chief minister மாதிரி. One day become Arjuna. I'll give you all the powers. I'll give you powers of Arjuna. We'll not be able to take the stress. I'll make you one day Yudhishthira. I'll make you the Chakravarti. We'll not be able to be without speaking lie for one day. So, if you have to compare with those who are far greater than you in their capability, yet they undergo so much of difficulties in their lives. To that extent, we are graced. We are definitely far more graced because our difficulties are also moderate. It is not extreme. And we have still have the ability to think and perform worship, kainkariam, whatever. We still have that ability to do that. That in itself is a huge grace. So he's saying, by bhakti, by devotion alone, you can experience this form of mind, which means you can experience me. If you want to have Bhagavat Darshanam or Bhagavat Anubhavam, whether you have Darshanam or not, Anubhavam you want to have, Bhagavat Anubhavam, it requires devotion. It requires some level of surrender. And the exercise that we did, the meditation that we did, use this at whenever we think of troubles and problems and difficulties and challenges in life, whether at work, at family, with people. Just think of this huge Virata Purusha. He's there, he's constantly watching, and everything is happening. People are dying, people are born, planets are whirling, galaxies are going around. And then it will give you a perspective of what you are, where you are, what is this problem. Suddenly, all of this will seem small. A large panorama of things. This is very small. Why do we have to do this? So that the problems and challenges don't overwhelm us, because a lot of times our problem is when that overwhelms, we look at excuse to say, I can't do this, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to sit for meditation, I'm not able to do a little bit of dhyana, I'm not able to do little bit of discourse satsanga I want to listen to, I'm not getting time. Constantly, because of this overwhelms, right? So with that, he says, Om Tatsat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nama Ekadasho Dhyayah. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeति Samarpayami Sadashivayeति Samarpayami Jagadambiketi Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.